Okay, good morning, everyone. Dan Bates, President and CEO of Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. We're here for a coffee and conversation. We're glad you could join us this morning. We're going to hear from Mike Lockhart from Primerica in just a little bit. He's going to be talking about retirement planning for small businesses and also how you could save money on taxes. We'll be referring to Mike after we do self-introductions. We are on a Zoom call, so I'm sure Mike will not mind if you interrupt him to ask questions. And this will be on our YouTube channel afterwards. So if you want to refer to anything after the presentation or share it with somebody else, you can gladly do that. So, Tiffany, self-introductions.
Yeah, since we already heard from Jana, we'll just start with you. You want to tell us your name and what company you're with?
Awesome. Hey guys, it's Gina Ferraro here with Land of Illusion, and Haunt is officially over. We are excited that Christmas Glow is opening on November the 20th. And if you've never been, it's like 3 million light, 2 mile drive through. It is a family fun event. You will not be scared. No one is jumping out at you in costume. Now they might be in costume, but dressed as Christmas characters. But it's a lot of fun. And if you want to go, let me know. You can always go to landofillusion.com to plan your visit for Christmas Glow. Hope to see you there.
Awesome, thank you. Amber?
Hi, I'm Amber. I am with the Alzheimer's Association. I work in Greater Cincinnati and Dayton region, so I oversee Hamilton County. My job is that I fundraise for the association. So basically, I am not involved with our walk or anything, but I ask people, what do you like to do? And then I help them turn it into a fundraiser. So I get the fun events like pickleballs and golf outings and really anything and everything. So, yeah, excited to be here this morning.
Thanks, Amber. Deanna?
Hi, I'm Deanna Cosina with ADG Painting Services, and we're a commercial and residential painting service.
Great. Laura?
Hello, everyone. Laura Merrill with the Greater Hamilton Chamber.
Jason? You're muted.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason Michael Miller with the Greater Hamilton Chamber.
I'm Tiffany Grow with the Greater Hamilton Chamber. With that, Mike, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well this nice, brisk November morning. Dan, I appreciate what you said. No, I do not mind being interrupted because in my home, my mother lives with us. So with my wife and my mother both being in my house, I get interrupted all the time. So I don't mind being interrupted at all. My name is Mike Lockhart. I am a regional vice president with Primerica. Been a financial professional for 28 years and am currently doing business in 20 states. Going to spend a few minutes today sharing with you, and I believe Jason has my slides off of a book called How Money Works, a common sense guide to financial success.
Mike, I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. You're very hard to hear.
Very hard to hear. Is this better? Is this better?
No.
No. Okay. Hold on. Let's try this. How about now? How about now?
Is that better for you, Dan?
No, I don't really see a difference. It sounds like he's in a tunnel. Maybe it's just me.
Can everybody else hear me okay?
No, I'm also having trouble hearing you.
Well, I guess I will have to enact my former career high school teacher and coach's voice and get loud here. How about now? I'm setting as close to my computer as I can. Is that better?
Can everybody else hear Mike?
I can hear him a little bit louder when he speaks up. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to speak
Yeah.
up, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you.
As I was saying, you see the introduction. There's a book out there that's published called How Money Works. It's called A Common Sense Guide to Financial Success. We know that most people who go into business for themselves do it for several reasons, but a couple of the most prevalent reasons are freedom and flexibility, and then also the opportunity to generate more income. And one of the things that we have discovered through studies is that it's not what you make, but it's what you keep, and it's what you do with what you earn. And so this book, How Money Works, there's been about 30 million copies handed out. This is a book that's free, that's available to you. One of the things we like about the book, and you will see through here, these slides are direct from the book, so it has big pictures and big letters, which I like myself personally. But it talks about some basic financial concepts, because here's our reality in America today. Most of us on this call, some of you are much younger, but most of us growing up, we weren't taught about money. We were just taught, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and pay your bills. And we weren't really taught about money and finances, kind of had to learn on our own or depend on the employer. But now we also know that, again, people who go into business for themselves, 93 out of every 100 businesses in America that have less than 100 employees really don't have any kind of, I'll call it benefits, for lack of a better term, for their employees. And there are opportunities out there for you as small business owners to have someone come in and talk to your employees free of charge, because we know if your employees are better off financially and not under financial stress, they're much more productive. And you as a business owner, you want to do the best thing you can with the funds you have. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes going over some concepts that you might be interested in looking into that are taught in what's called a financial wellness workshop. One of the things there is take control. Again, the concept of taking control. Most people in America, especially those who are together as a couple or married, 80% of folks in America today, it's a two-income household. It's not like the 1970s when dad worked and mom stayed home and the mortgages were $150 a month. I remember in 1973 when my mom and dad, we bought our first home and weren't living in base housing anymore. I was a military veterans kid, and I remember them saying the first home we bought in 1973, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, $133 a month mortgage payment. That's not our world today. Things have changed dramatically. So there are concepts that are taught about taking control, because you can't control the future of Social Security. You can't control your employer, which is why you went into business for yourself. You cannot control the tax laws or inflation, but people can control behavioral habits of money. 70% of financial success is behavioral. So you can control that. You can control your sources of income, way to reduce taxes, different things like that. You can control how to save. So one of the things that are taught here in this book is called How to Take Control, teaching employees how to take control. Some of you may have employees, for example, who have children. Well, this is something that's very important in our world today. The number one form of debt in America today is no longer credit card debt. It is student loan debt. And I would bet there's somebody on this call who knows somebody with student loan debt. So there's ways out there that we can educate you and your employees on how to start saving for college, because college is not getting any cheaper. And as a matter of fact, over the last 30 years in America, college costs have been the highest rate of inflation. So taking control is one of the things that we teach. The next slide, if you don't mind, Jason. Something that we teach people that is taught to people now is how to pay yourself first. And of course, this involves retirement planning. There are different options out there as well. I will say this, one of the biggest concerns to small business owners, and again, when I say small business, I'm not saying that your business is small. I just define a small business as having less than 100 employees. One of the biggest drawbacks there to offering any kind of retirement plan is because most financial firms charge some pretty good fees to set up a 401k or whatever the case may be. But there are options out there where retirement plans can be set up for your employees at no cost to the business owner. And that's something that we can talk about. But it's very important that a concept that is taught in this book is to pay yourself first. There's the old saying, if you don't send something down the road, when you get down the road, there ain't nothing going to be there. And again, you as a business owner, you may have walked away from corporate America. You may have walked away from the job where you had the quote unquote retirement plan or 401k or whatever it is. Now it's on you. I was a former high school teacher for 16 years in my first career, and of course walked away from that huge teacher's retirement plan. And I say that with tongue in cheek. So I have been responsible for my retirement. There's things out there that are offered to you and your employees. One of the biggest drawbacks again in our financial world today is that most financial advising firms, unless somebody has a significant amount of money to get started, they won't even spend time talking to them. So when we talk to people about paying yourself first, we try to teach them basic accounts that need to be set up. Obvious, most everyone on here has some type of checking account, whether it's for personal or business. But we also want to teach people, and it's something that needs to be taught, is we call it an emergency fund or an uh-oh account. And then there's also long-term planning, and then there's things which we call middle of the road accounts. For example, you might have some employees who are young and say, man, I want to know what I got to do in the next 3 years to purchase a home. What steps do I go through? And this is something that can be taught to them as well. So Jason, if you go to the next one, I know nobody on here has debt, but debt is a real thing in America today. It's kind of a humor in this book. We try to teach people debt stands for don't ever buy things that you cannot afford. Teaching people, okay, what should you pay cash for? Is there such a thing as good debt? What's the difference between fixed and revolving debt? There is a difference. So one of the things that can be taught is showing people how there are ways to step by step pay off debt. I'm not talking about debt consolidation. Debt consolidation doesn't change behavior. So there's ways and systems depending on the individual that people can be taught to pay off debt, and understanding just little things. For example, here's a little thing that a lot of people may or may not know. But for example, if someone has a car loan and your payment's due on the 5th and you make your payment on time, there's now 30 days of pre-calculated interest at the car loan, whether it's Ford Motor Credit or a local bank is going to charge you interest. And a simple way to pay that car off sooner without spending one more penny is dividing it up and making 1/4 of a payment every 7 days. That way, the lending institution is only charging you 7 days of interest instead of 30 days of interest. And by doing that on a typical 5 or 6 year car loan, without you spending one more penny, you're going to pay that car off anywhere from 6 to 9 months sooner. And if you've got a $400 a month car note, 6 to 9 months sooner adds up very, very quickly. Those are just some things that are taught. Jason, if you'll go to the next one. And again, folks, I'm just doing a brief overview here for you. Power of home ownership. You know, people say, well, this is the American dream, owning a home. And that's something that needs to be taught. How do we help somebody get to that point? Understanding the terminology about what is PMI, what is real interest, what is the actual cost to own this home, this $300,000 mortgage, what's it going to cost you over the next 30 years or over the next 15 years? One of the good things about home ownership right now is the feds have cut the rates again 2 weeks ago. So interest rates have come back down from where they were a couple of years ago. So we really show people how to not only, one of the things we can do is, or can be done, is show people how to pay that mortgage off sooner, but also how people get in position. What is the rule of 35-50 that most mortgage lenders want to see when someone comes in to apply for a mortgage? Different things like that. So this is really about, real education. Jason, go to this next one, because folks, I want to spend a couple minutes on this. This is a mathematical formula. It's called the Rule of 72. It's a mathematical formula that was actually discovered by Benjamin Franklin. And yet, even I've talked to college students, seniors who are in accounting and finance and business, and they don't know what the rule of 72 is. And it simply is the rule that says if you take the rate of return you're getting on your money, you divide it into 72. That's how long it takes your money to double. And this ties in with the power of compound interest, which one of our great thinkers in our history said is one of the most powerful forces on earth. We can teach your employees about the rule of 72 and how to get a higher rate of return on their money. So the rule of 72 is something that is huge that people need to understand, especially if you have employees who are younger and understanding the power of time and compound interest. For example, you may be on here and you may have a young adult who's a child or whatever, and just teaching that 21-year-old, now they're out of college, or even an 18-year-old if they've started working, just showing an 18-year-old that if they take $25 a week and put it in the right kind of an account, when they're 58 years old, they have $1 million cash. Well, when I was 18 years old, nobody ever taught me that. So that's something else that can be taught. And I would say to anyone who's on the Zoom or listening by Facebook, it's never too late to start. I always have believed that if you woke up today, you can always learn something today. So let's go to the next one here. That again, all of this is part of a free financial wellness seminar that can be taught to your folks. Buying the right kind of life insurance, folks. I got to tell you, the life insurance industry, what most of the industry tries to sell the consumer it's just not right mathematically. The big things out there, cash value, and now the indexed universal life, we really educate people about how different types of life insurances work. And that's something to know, because 70% of families in America today are either underinsured or do not have the right kind. Most people today say, hey, I've got it through my job. Well, if you've got it through your job, if you ever leave that job, that means it's gone. And now you as a business owner, there's ways that you can set up life insurance plans, and it's a tax deductible business expense. So we really teach people there's out there where we can teach people about term life insurance and how you make term life insurance work with investing, planning, and saving. There's a thing called the theory of decreasing responsibility that can be taught as well. Jason, let's go to the next one, buddy. And we're moving right along here. I'll probably wrap up a little early. This is huge here about deferring taxes. Boy, the tax laws change every year. The good news is over the last 20 years or so, because of regulations in the federal government, it's become much more attractive for someone to handle their retirement on their own. And so we really show people how to maximize, especially if you are a business owner. There are ways that you can really maximize retirement. One of the things that a lot of business owners, I do a lot of work with them, but one of the things for business owners is they don't take advantage of it. You can take up to 25% of your net profit in any one calendar year and put it away in an account, and it's all tax deductible. So that's just some things that we can teach that can be taught, explaining about the difference between tax deduction and tax deferral. And then we're going to go to the last two here, if you would, Jason, about becoming an owner, not a loaner. There's a concept that's taught about bypassing the middleman, and it deals with banks, credit unions, saving and loans. Is there a purpose for banks? Absolutely. I'm not anti-banks. I have 2 different checking accounts and an emergency fund in a bank. But when it comes to long-term savings and long-term wanting to causing money to grow, to save is to preserve, to invest means to cause growth. And so we show people how they can bypass the middleman and get a much higher rate of return on their money outside their normal living expenses. And that ties in with the last 2 slides that Jason's going to show you here, is becoming an owner of your money and not a loaner, and investing with professional management. each of you who are business owners here, I heard one lady said she's in it's a painting company. Well, she's not going to go in and have a painting company be successful if they don't understand painting. They probably can tell you all different types of paints, how it goes. The lady who runs the Land of Illusion, they just don't wake up one day and all this stuff is put together. There's a step-by-step process. It is so wise for business owners to have access to professional money management people. And I'm not talking about a 1-800 number. Yes, I'm licensed. I own a financial services firm, but guess what? I also have an accountant. I also have an attorney. For my physical well-being, I have a doctor. As my wife tries to tell me, stay in your lane. I do what I do and you do what you do, but it's good to partner up with that. So that is basically, guys, what we would, something that can be done for your employees. This How Money Works can be done at lunchtime. And of course, if it's done, the lunch is provided, but that's what has become with our company. And we now are also doing mortgages. I'm sure you've heard of Quicken Loans. So that's what I do. I think Jason's put my email on the screen. Jason, are you allowed to put my phone number up there, buddy, or is that?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the email.
No, okay.
Yeah.
But this is how anybody could contact me. If any of what I talked to you about, even if you say, hey, Mike, I just want you to send me a copy of the book, just contact me, give me your address. I'll send you a copy of the book. Or if you're in the local area, I'll drop one off to you. So with that, I tried to be respectful of everybody's time. Does anybody have any questions or comments or derogatory remarks? It's okay. Fire away.
I appreciate the information. It was a great presentation, and I look forward to reading the book.
Okay, well, and you got my email there. If Jason, am I allowed to tell them if they email me, I can send them my phone number and all that? I just want to make sure that we're okay on all that.
Yeah, so again, I'm going to email everybody your contact information, and you're going to be CC'd on that email.
Okay, great. Sure. Thank you, Deanna. I'll make sure you get a book and we'll chat.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
Well, I do have one more question. I have a couple that works for me that wants to get on the path to home ownership, but they're pretty far from it, like the way I would look at it.
We lost her, Jason. I can't hear. Did she get muted?
I think she's figuring it out.
Okay.
Deanna, would you be able to type the question in the chat? For some reason, the sound's not working.
I think she was saying something about a young couple who's wanting to get onto home ownership. Can I respond to that, Jason?
Yeah.
If you have someone like that, be happy to sit down with them. We're unique. We don't charge a fee for our services. My business is 100% referral based. If they're interested, I'd be happy to sit down with them and walk them through some things that can help get them on that path to home ownership. I think she heard that because she shook her head.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat.
That's fine.
Well, Mike, I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with us today. For those that are not familiar with the Chamber, you can keep in touch with the Chamber by heading to our website, hamilton-ohio.com. You can register for more events like Coffee and Conversation. Today, we have a Mix It Up networking event after hours coming up on November 13th. We also have a networking leads lunch on November 18th as well. And then we have a few ribbon cuttings. We always post ribbon cuttings. Feel free to come on out and welcome new business owners to the community. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us today and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.